Have you ever felt like your life was stuck on repeat? Like no matter what you did, nothing seemed to change? Well, what if I told you that the key to transforming your life has been with you all along? It's not some secret formula or magic pill, it's something much more powerful, and it's called the law of transmission. This idea, popularized by the spiritual teacher Neville Goddard, might just be the missing piece in your journey to create the life you've always dreamed of. Now you might be thinking, oh great, another self-help concept that promises the world. But here's the thing. The law of transmission isn't about doing more or trying harder. It's about understanding a fundamental truth about how our minds work and how they shape the world around us. It's a principle that has the power to completely transform our lives, but it's not what you might expect. Because unlike many other techniques or strategies that focus on changing things on the outside, this law is all about what's happening on the inside. Here's the deal. If you don't grasp this concept, if you don't learn how to work with the law of transmission, you might find yourself spinning your wheels for years to come. You might keep trying different things, jumping from one strategy to another, wondering why nothing seems to stick. You might even start to believe that maybe you're just not cut out for success or happiness, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The real issue is that most of us have been taught to focus on the wrong things. We've been told that if we want to change our lives, we need to change our actions. And while action is important, it's not the whole story. In fact, it's not even the most important part of the story. The law of transmission teaches us that if we don't change what's happening inside our minds, our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, then nothing on the outside will ever truly change. It's like trying to fix a broken projector by painting over the image on the wall. No matter how many coats of paint you apply, the source of the problem remains untouched. This is why understanding and applying the law of transmission is so crucial. It's not just about positive thinking or wishful dreaming. It's about recognizing the incredible power of your mind to shape your reality. And once you truly get this, once you start working with this law instead of against it, that's when the magic starts to happen. So, what exactly is this law of transmission that Neville Goddard talked about? At its core, it's the idea that our thoughts and feelings are constantly being broadcast out into the world, and that the world responds by reflecting those thoughts and feelings back to us. It's like we're all walking around with our own personal radio transmitters, constantly sending out signals about what we believe to be true about ourselves and the world. Now, this might sound a bit out there at first. After all, we're used to thinking of our thoughts as something private, something that exists only in our own heads. But the law of transmission suggests that our thoughts are much more powerful than that. They're not just idle musings or fleeting ideas, they're active forces that are constantly shaping our reality. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how, when you're in a bad mood, everything seems to go wrong? Or how, when you're feeling confident and positive, opportunities seem to pop up out of nowhere? That's the law of transmission at work. Your internal state is being transmitted out into the world, and the world is responding in kind. But it goes even deeper than that. The law of transmission isn't just about temporary moods or passing thoughts. It's about the deeply held beliefs and assumptions that we carry with us all the time. These are the thoughts that we think so often that we don't even realize we're thinking them anymore. They've become part of our mental furniture, so to speak. For example, if you have a deep-seated belief that money is hard to come by, that belief is being constantly transmitted out into the world. And guess what? The world will reflect that belief back to you. You might find yourself constantly struggling with finances, missing out on opportunities, or feeling stressed about money. Not because there's anything inherently difficult about acquiring money, but because your belief is shaping your perception and your actions in ways you might not even be aware of. On the flip side, if you truly believe that you're capable of achieving great things, that belief will also be transmitted. And the world will respond by presenting you with opportunities, connecting you with the right people, and guiding you towards success. Not because the universe is playing favorites, but because your belief is shaping how you see and interact with the world around you. This is why Neville Goddard puts so much emphasis on the power of imagination. He understood that our imagination is the tool we use to shape our beliefs and assumptions. When we vividly imagine something, when we feel it as real, we're not just daydreaming, we're actively transmitting a new signal out into the world. But here's the thing. The law of transmission isn't some kind of cosmic vending machine where you put in a thought and immediately get a result. It's more like planting a seed. The thought or belief is the seed, and over time, with proper nurturing, it grows into a tangible reality. This is why patience and persistence are so important when working with this law. It's also why it's so crucial to be aware of our habitual thoughts and beliefs. Many of us go through life on autopilot, never really examining the beliefs we're transmitting. We might wonder why we keep experiencing the same problems or challenges, not realizing that we're the ones broadcasting the signal that's creating those experiences. The good news is that once we understand the law of transmission, we can start to take control of this process. We can become conscious creators of our reality rather than passive recipients of whatever happens to come our way. By consciously choosing our thoughts, by vividly imagining the reality we want to experience, and by feeling the truth of that reality, we can start to change the signal we're transmitting. This doesn't mean that life will suddenly become perfect or that all our problems will magically disappear. The law of transmission isn't about bypassing the natural flow of life or avoiding all challenges. Instead, it's about aligning ourselves with the reality we want to experience and allowing that reality to unfold in its own time and way. It's also important to understand that the law of transmission isn't just about manifesting material things. While it can certainly be used for that purpose, its real power lies in its ability to transform our entire experience of life. When we change our inner world, our beliefs, our attitudes, our expectations, we change how we perceive and interact with everything around us. This can lead to profound shifts in our relationships, our sense of purpose, our overall happiness and fulfillment. So how do we start working with the law of transmission? The first step is awareness. We need to become aware of the thoughts and beliefs we're currently transmitting. This might involve some deep self-reflection, maybe even some uncomfortable realizations, but it's a necessary step. We can't change what we're not aware of. Once we've gained some awareness of our current transmission, we can start to make conscious choices about what we want to transmit instead. This is where the power of imagination comes in. We need to create vivid, detailed mental images of the reality we want to experience. And we need to do more than just see these images. We need to step into them, to feel them as if they're already real. This might feel strange or even silly at first. After all, we're used to basing our feelings on what we can see and touch in the physical world. But the law of transmission asks us to reverse this process. It asks us to generate the feeling first, trusting that the physical reality will follow. For example, if you want to manifest a new job, it's not enough to just think about it or even to take actions like sending out resumes. According to the law of transmission, you need to feel what it would be like to already have that job. How would you feel walking into your new office? What would it be like to do work that you love? How would it feel to receive your new paycheck? By generating these feelings, by living from the end result, as Neville Goddard would say, you're transmitting a powerful signal. You're telling the universe, This is who I am. This is my reality. And gradually, step by step, the outer world will start to align with this inner reality. But here's a crucial point. This isn't about pretending or forcing yourself to feel something you don't. The law of transmission works with genuine, heartfelt feelings. It's about tapping into the truth of who you really are and what you're truly capable of. It's about recognizing that the reality you desire is already within you, waiting to be expressed. This is why self-love and self-acceptance are so important when working with the law of transmission. If you're constantly transmitting signals of self-doubt or unworthiness, those signals will overpower any positive intentions you're trying to manifest. You need to start from a place of knowing that you are worthy, that you are deserving of the reality you desire. It's also important to understand that the law of transmission isn't about controlling every aspect of your life or the world around you. It's about aligning yourself with the natural flow of life, about opening yourself up to possibilities you might not have considered before. Sometimes, the universe might have even better plans for you than what you've imagined. This is why trust and surrender are also key components of working with the law of transmission. Yes, you're actively participating in creating your reality, but you're also recognizing that you're part of something larger than yourself. You're co-creating with the universe, not trying to force it to bend to your will. As you start to work with the law of transmission, you might notice some interesting changes. You might find yourself feeling more optimistic, more open to new possibilities. You might start to see opportunities where before you only saw obstacles. You might even start to notice synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem to guide you in the right direction. These are all signs that your transmission is changing, that you're starting to align with a new reality. But it's important to remember that this is usually a gradual process. Just as it takes time for a seed to grow into a plant, it takes time for our new transmissions to fully manifest in the physical world. This is why persistence is so crucial when working with the law of transmission. You need to keep transmitting your new signal consistently, even when you don't see immediate results. This doesn't mean obsessing over your desire or constantly thinking about it. Instead, it means regularly returning to that feeling of already having what you desire, of already being who you want to be. It's also important to take inspired action. While the law of transmission emphasizes the power of our inner world, it doesn't negate the importance of action in the physical world. The key is that these actions should flow naturally from your new state of being, rather than being forced or driven by fear or desperation. For example, if you're transmitting the signal of being a successful entrepreneur, you might find yourself naturally drawn to networking events or inspired to reach out to potential clients. These actions aren't coming from a place of lack or neediness, but from a place of confidence and abundance. As you continue to work with the law of transmission, you might start to notice that your entire perspective on life shifts. You might begin to see everything as a reflection of your inner world, as a response to the signal you're transmitting. This can be incredibly empowering, as it puts you in the driver's seat of your life experience. But it can also be challenging, especially when you encounter difficulties or setbacks. It's important to remember that the law of transmission isn't about blame or shame. If you experience something negative, it doesn't mean you're a bad person or that you're doing something wrong. Instead, it's an opportunity to examine your transmission more closely, to see if there are any unconscious beliefs or fears that might be influencing your experience. This is where the practice of self-compassion comes in. Working with the law of transmission isn't about being perfect or always maintaining positive thoughts. It's about being aware, being intentional, and being kind to yourself as you learn and grow. It's also important to remember that while our thoughts and feelings are powerful, we're not islands. We're all interconnected, all part of the larger tapestry of life. Our transmissions interact with the transmissions of others, creating a complex web of energy and influence. This is why it's so important to surround yourself with positive, supportive people who believe in you and your dreams. As you deepen your understanding and practice of the law of transmission, you might start to see it as more than just a tool for manifesting desires. You might begin to see it as a way of life, a way of being in harmony with the universe. You might find that your focus shifts from what you can get to what you can give, from what you can achieve to who you can become. This is the true power of the law of transmission. It's not just about changing your circumstances, but about transforming your entire experience of life. It's about recognizing your inherent power as a creator, as a being capable of shaping reality through the power of your thoughts and feelings. But remember, this isn't about becoming someone else or achieving some external standard of success. It's about becoming more fully yourself, about aligning with your true nature and purpose. The law of transmission invites us to dream big, to imagine the best possible version of ourselves and our lives. But it also reminds us that everything we're seeking is already within us, waiting to be recognized and expressed. As you continue on this journey of discovery and creation, be patient with yourself, be willing to experiment, to try new things, to adjust your transmission as you learn and grow. And above all, enjoy the process. The law of transmission isn't just about reaching a destination, but about savoring every step of the journey. Remember, every thought you think, every feeling you feel is a transmission. Every moment is an opportunity to align more fully with the reality you desire. So what signal will you choose to transmit? What reality will you choose to create? The power is in your hands, or more accurately, in your mind and heart. Use it wisely, use it joyfully, and watch as your world transforms around you. Let's dive deeper into how our inner world shapes what we see outside. This is the core of Neville Goddard's law of transmission, and it's a game changer when you really get it. Think of your mind as a powerful projector, constantly beaming images onto the screen of your life. These images aren't just random, they're created by your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. Here's the thing. Most of us don't realize we're doing this. We walk around thinking our thoughts are just private little conversations in our heads. But according to the law of transmission, there's so much more. They're like radio signals that we're constantly broadcasting to the universe. Now you might be wondering, if my thoughts are so powerful, why isn't my life perfect? Great question. The answer lies in understanding that this isn't about occasional positive thoughts or affirmations. It's about your deep-seated beliefs, the ones that run in the background of your mind all day, every day. For example, let's say you want to start a successful business. You might spend some time each day visualizing your success and repeating affirmations. But if deep down you believe that business is hard, that you're not cut out for it, or that you'll probably fail, guess which thoughts are going to have the stronger impact? That's right. It's those underlying beliefs that really shape your reality. They influence how you act, the opportunities you notice or miss, and even how other people respond to you. It's like they create a filter through which you experience the world. But here's the good news. Once you understand this, you can start to change it. You can begin to pay attention to your habitual thoughts and beliefs. You can question whether they're really true or if they're just old stories you've been telling yourself. And then comes the exciting part. You can start to consciously choose new thoughts and beliefs. This isn't about forcing yourself to think positively all the time. It's about gently, persistently redirecting your mind towards what you want to create. Remember, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So if you want to change what you see on the outside, you need to change what's happening on the inside first. This takes time and practice, but it's incredibly powerful. Try this. For the next week, pay close attention to your thoughts. Notice how they make you feel and how those feelings influence your actions. Then, start to experiment with consciously choosing thoughts that align with what you want to create. It might feel strange at first, but stick with it. You're learning to use the incredible power of your mind to shape your reality. Now that we understand how our thoughts create our reality, let's talk about why feeling is so crucial in this process. Neville Goddard often emphasized that it's not enough to just think about what you want. You need to feel it as if it's already real. This might sound a bit strange at first. After all, we're used to thinking that our feelings are responses to what's happening around us. But the law of transmission flips this on its head. It suggests that our feelings are actually creative forces shaping what happens around us. Here's why this is so important. Your feelings are like the fuel that powers your thoughts. You can think about something all day long, but if you don't feel it, it lacks the energy to manifest in your reality. Let's use an example to make this clearer. Say you want to manifest a new job. You might spend time visualizing yourself in the new office, thinking about the tasks you'll be doing. But if you're doing this with a feeling of doubt or anxiety, guess what kind of reality you're likely to create? That's right, one filled with doubt and anxiety. On the other hand, if you can generate feelings of confidence, excitement, and gratitude as you think about this new job, you're much more likely to attract opportunities that match those feelings. So, how do you do this? How do you generate feelings about something that hasn't happened yet? This is where your imagination comes in. Neville Goddard taught a technique he called living from the end. Basically, you imagine that you've already achieved your desire and you let yourself feel all the emotions that come with that achievement. For our job example, you might imagine how it feels to wake up excited to go to work. You might feel the satisfaction of completing important tasks, the joy of collaborating with great colleagues, the pride of earning a good income. The more vividly you can imagine these feelings, the more powerful your transmission becomes. Now, this doesn't mean you should ignore your current feelings or try to force yourself to feel happy all the time. That's not realistic or helpful. Instead, it's about consciously choosing to generate positive feelings about your desires, even if just for a few minutes each day. Over time, as you practice this, you'll find that it becomes easier. You might even start to notice that your general mood improves and that you naturally start to feel more positive about your goals and dreams. Remember, your feelings are not just passive responses to your environment. They're active forces that shape your reality. So choose them wisely, nurture the ones that align with your desires, and watch as your world begins to shift to match your inner state. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful tools you have when it comes to the law of transmission, your imagination. Neville Goddard often said that your imagination is the gateway to creating your reality. But what does this really mean, and how can you use it effectively? First, it's important to understand that when we talk about imagination in this context, we're not talking about idle daydreaming or fantasy. We're talking about a focused, intentional use of your mind's creative power. Your imagination is like a blueprint for your reality. Just as an architect uses blueprints to guide the construction of a building, you use your imagination to guide the creation of your life experiences. Here's the thing. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the physical world. This is why athletes use visualization techniques to improve their performance, and why rehearsing a speech in your mind can be almost as effective as practicing it out loud. When you use your imagination to vividly picture what you want to create, you're essentially giving your subconscious mind instructions. You're programming it to look for opportunities, to guide your actions, and to create experiences that match your imagined reality. But it's not just about visualizing. Remember, feeling is crucial too. As you imagine your desired reality, allow yourself to feel the emotions associated with it. If you're imagining a loving relationship, feel the warmth and joy of being with your partner. If you're picturing career success, feel the satisfaction and pride of achievement. Here's a simple exercise you can try. Set aside a few minutes each day for what Neville Goddard called imaginal acts. Close your eyes and imagine a scene that implies your desire has been fulfilled. Make it as vivid and detailed as possible. What do you see? What do you hear? What can you touch or smell? Most importantly, how do you feel? For example, if you want to improve your financial situation, you might imagine yourself looking at a bank statement with a large balance. Feel the relief and excitement. Imagine telling a friend about your financial success and feeling their genuine happiness for you. The key is to make these imaginal acts feel as real as possible. The more real they feel, the more powerful they are in shaping your reality. Now you might be thinking, but what if I'm not good at visualizing? Don't worry. Everyone's imagination works differently. Some people see vivid mental images, while others might have a stronger sense of feeling or knowing. Work with whatever comes naturally to you. It's also important to understand that using your imagination in this way isn't about escaping reality or denying your current circumstances. It's about creating a bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. As you practice using your imagination in this way, you might start to notice some interesting changes. You might find yourself feeling more optimistic about your goals. You might start to see opportunities you hadn't noticed before. You might even experience what seem like coincidences that move you closer to your desires. Remember, your imagination is a powerful tool, but it's not magic. It works in conjunction with your thoughts, feelings, and actions. As you imagine your desired reality, stay open to guidance and inspiration for steps you can take in the physical world. Using your imagination in this way takes practice, but it can be incredibly powerful. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. So don't get discouraged if it feels challenging at first. Keep at it, and you'll likely be amazed at how your ability to shape your reality grows over time. When it comes to working with the law of transmission, persistence and faith are absolutely crucial. These two qualities are like the soil and water that allow the seeds of your thoughts and imagination to grow into reality. Let's start with persistence. The law of transmission isn't about wishing for something once and then sitting back to wait for it to appear. It's about consistently aligning your thoughts, feelings, and imagination with your desires. This takes time and practice. Think about it like this. If you've spent years thinking and feeling in a certain way, it's going to take some time to rewire your brain and create new patterns. You might have moments of doubt or frustration. You might wonder if it's really working. This is where persistence comes in. Persistence means continuing to hold your vision, even when you can't see immediate results. It means choosing to focus on what you want to create, even when your current circumstances seem to contradict it. It's about maintaining that inner state of having already received your desire, regardless of what's happening in the outer world. Now, this doesn't mean forcing yourself to think positively all the time or denying your current reality. It's more about gently, consistently redirecting your focus back to your desired state. It's about choosing again and again to see yourself as the person who has already achieved your goal. And this is where faith comes in. Faith, in the context of the law of transmission, isn't about believing in something outside of yourself. It's about having faith in the process, in the power of your own mind to shape your reality. Faith means trusting that even if you can't see the results yet, your consistent thoughts and feelings are creating change. It's about believing in the unseen, in the potential that exists beyond your current circumstances. This kind of faith can be challenging, especially when things aren't going the way you want them to. But remember, just because you can't see something doesn't mean it isn't happening. Think about planting a seed in the ground. For a while, nothing seems to be happening on the surface. But beneath the soil, that seed is growing, developing roots, preparing to sprout. Your thoughts and feelings work in a similar way. They're creating changes that you might not be able to see immediately, but that will eventually manifest in your physical reality. Regular practice. Set aside time each day to focus on your desired reality. Use your imagination, feel the feelings, and align your thoughts with what you want to create. Keep a journal. Write about your experiences, your feelings, and any changes you notice, no matter how small. This can help you see progress that you might otherwise miss. Celebrate small wins. Notice and appreciate any signs that your reality is starting to align with your desires. This builds momentum and strengthens your faith. Be patient with yourself. Remember, you're learning a new way of thinking and being. It's okay if you have moments of doubt or frustration. Just gently bring your focus back to your desired state. Take inspired action. While the law of transmission is primarily about your inner state, it's important to remain open to taking action in the physical world. Trust your intuition and act on ideas or opportunities that feel aligned with your goals. Remember, persistence and faith are skills that you can develop over time. The more you practice, the stronger they become. And as they grow stronger, so does your ability to shape your reality through the law of transmission. Now that we've covered the key principles of the law of transmission, let's put it into practice with a simple exercise. This exercise is designed to help you start using these principles in your daily life. Choose a goal. Pick something you want to manifest in your life. It could be anything: a new job, a relationship, improved health, or a specific experience. For this exercise, it's best to start with something that feels achievable but still exciting. Create a scene. Imagine a short scene that implies your goal has already been achieved. For example, if your goal is a new job, you might imagine yourself sitting at your new desk, feeling satisfied after a productive day of work. Engage your senses. As you imagine this scene, make it as vivid as possible. What do you see around you? What sounds do you hear? Are there any specific smells or textures? The more sensory details you can include, the more real it will feel to your subconscious mind. Feel the feeling. This is crucial. Allow yourself to feel the emotions you would feel if this scene were real. Feel the satisfaction, joy, relief, or excitement. Let these feelings fill your body. Practice daily. Spend about 5-10 minutes each day immersing yourself in this scene. The best times are usually right before you fall asleep at night and just after you wake up in the morning, as your subconscious mind is more receptive during these times. Let go. After your practice, let go of any attachment to how or when your desire will manifest. Trust that it's in process. Stay open. Throughout your day, stay open to ideas, opportunities, or coincidences that might be related to your goal. Take inspired action when it feels right. Be patient. Remember, this is a process. It might take some time to see results in your physical reality. Stay persistent and have faith in the process. Journal. Keep a journal of your experiences, feelings, and any changes you notice in your life, no matter how small. This exercise helps you align your thoughts, feelings, and imagination with your desired reality. It trains your mind to focus on what you want to create, rather than what you're trying to avoid or change. As you practice, you might notice that you start feeling more positive and optimistic about your goal. You might find yourself naturally taking actions that move you closer to your desire. You might even start noticing unexpected opportunities or coincidences. Remember, the key is consistency and faith. Keep practicing, even if you don't see immediate results. You're reprogramming your subconscious mind and aligning yourself with a new reality. This takes time, but with persistence, you can create powerful changes in your life. As you start working with the law of transmission, it's helpful to be aware of some common pitfalls. Knowing these can save you time and frustration as you learn to harness the power of your thoughts and feelings. Focusing on the lack. One of the biggest mistakes is focusing on what you don't have rather than what you want to create. For example, if you're trying to manifest financial abundance, constantly thinking about your current lack of money actually reinforces that lack. Instead, focus on the abundance you want to create. Trying to control the how, the law of transmission is about aligning with your desired end result, not figuring out exactly how it will happen. When you try to control every detail of the how, you might miss unexpected opportunities or paths that could lead to your goal. Inconsistency. Remember, this is about persistent, consistent alignment of your thoughts and feelings. Practicing for a day or two and then giving up won't create lasting change. Make it a daily habit. Lack of feeling. Simply visualizing or thinking about your desire isn't enough. You need to feel it as if it's already real. The feeling is what gives power to your thoughts and imagination. Doubting the process? It's natural to have moments of doubt, but if you constantly question whether it's working, you're sending mixed signals. Trust the process even when you can't see immediate results. Neglecting inspired action. While the law of transmission is primarily about your inner state, it doesn't mean you should sit back and do nothing. Stay open to taking inspired action when it feels right. Attachment to outcomes. While it's important to be clear about what you want, becoming overly attached to specific outcomes can create stress and actually push your desire away. Hold your vision, but stay open to how it might manifest. Ignoring your current reality. This doesn't mean pretending your current circumstances don't exist. Acknowledge where you are, but choose to focus more on where you want to be. Trying to change others. The law of transmission is about changing yourself, not others. Focus on your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. Expecting instant results. Change takes time. Be patient with yourself and the process. Celebrate small shifts and know that bigger changes are in the works. By avoiding these common mistakes, you'll be better equipped to work effectively with the law of transmission. Remember, this is a skill that you develop over time. Be patient with yourself as you learn and grow. As we wrap up our exploration of Neville Goddard's law of transmission, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. We've discovered that our thoughts and feelings are not just passive reactions to the world around us, but powerful forces that shape our reality. We've learned about the crucial role of imagination in creating the life we desire, and we've explored the importance of persistence and faith in this process. Remember, The law of transmission isn't about magical thinking or denying your current reality. It's about understanding the profound connection between your inner world and your outer experiences. It's about recognizing your power as a creator and learning to use that power consciously and responsibly. As you begin to work with these principles in your own life, be patient with yourself. This is a new way of thinking and being for many of us, and it takes time to rewire old habits and beliefs. Celebrate your small victories along the way and trust that bigger changes are unfolding, even when you can't see them yet. Keep in mind that the law of transmission isn't just about manifesting material things or achieving specific goals. While it can certainly be used for those purposes, its true power lies in its ability to transform your entire experience of life. As you align your thoughts and feelings with what you truly desire, you may find that you become more peaceful, more joyful, and more connected to the world around you. Remember to use the practical exercise we discussed and be aware of the common mistakes to avoid. But most importantly, make this process your own. Experiment, explore, and find what works best for you. Your journey with the law of transmission is unique, just as you are. Finally, remember that you're not alone in this journey. Many others have walked this path before you, and many are walking it alongside you right now. Share your experiences, learn from others, and keep an open mind and heart as you continue to grow and evolve. The power to shape your reality has been within you all along. With the law of transmission, you now have a tool to access and direct that power. Use it wisely, use it joyfully, and watch as your world transforms in beautiful and unexpected ways. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the law of transmission. I hope you found it enlightening and empowering. Now it's time for you to take these principles and put them into practice in your own life. Remember, your thoughts are powerful, your feelings are creative, and your imagination is the key to unlocking the reality you desire. The journey begins now. Are you ready to step into your power and create the life you've always dreamed of?